Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. My name is Boakye. I'm so glad to come your way with another amazing video on the Mo channel. Today I want to talk about comfort zone and why you need to stay away from the comfort zone. See, there was a time in my life when I was doing the same thing over and over again. I would wake up in the morning, take my bath, eat, go to work and come back home. And the pattern repeated itself over and over again. At first it was very comfortable because I felt in control. But after some time I felt stuck, like it was very boring. Then I took my phone looking through social media, trying to look at what other people are doing and all that. And I saw that people are chasing their dreams. People are being ambitious, attempting different stuff. And I thought to myself, what is preventing me from doing whatever I want to do? And I realized that all along I had been in my comfort zone and I was afraid to move out because I was afraid of outcomes. I didn't know what was going to happen when I attempted something new. So I thought about it critically and I realized I had lived in fear for a couple of years now and I had to move away from what I've been doing always. That is why I even started this channel, because even starting a channel, and for me per se, who is an introvert, you know the challenge, speaking in front of people and all that is not something that I'm comfortable with. But I've put myself out there because I realize that this is something I'm doing that is totally unique or totally different from what I've always been doing. You might be watching me now and you'll be living in your comfort zone, doing the same thing over and over again. Maybe this is a sign to you that you have to move from your comfort zone and attempt something different. You have to start the business that you want to start. You have to start the catering service or whatever at all that is on your mind you want to do. It's about time you started, because time is not waiting for anybody, and the comfort zone is actually an impediment to your growth. Just imagine the number of things you can accomplish when you keep moving, when you keep believing, and actually moving out from your comfort zone. So I want to tell you the reasons why we are so comfortable or we are so obsessed with the comfort zone and why sometimes it's difficult for us to move. The first one is predictability. You see, humans have always been in this situation where we want to feel in control. Anything at all we are doing, we want to feel in control. We want to feel that we know something and we can actually change outcome and situations. And because of this, we are not so comfortable when we are in situations where we don't have control. And that is the reason why we can stay in our comfort zone for very long. Just look at this. Waking up, knowing that, okay, you are going to eat, you are going to go to work, you are going to come back. That is something that is so predictable, and you know that you are in control. You are in control of whatever happens with regards to that. But now when you get into a situation where you have to do something that you don't know the outcome, let's say you have to start a business, you don't know the outcome, what is going to happen. Or let's say for me being an introvert, speaking to people in a public arena or on a platform like this, I don't know what will happen, but once I'm not in control and it's not my comfort zone, that is where growth happens. So we usually want to stay in our comfort zone because we want some level of predictability. Yes. The second reason why we want to stay in our comfort zone is we don't want humiliation. As I've talked about in some of my videos, you see, the reason why people will start something and actually not try to do so much is because you don't want to be laughed at, you don't want to be ridiculed. So you tend to do things that you are familiar with. You tend to do things that you have some sort of ability to control. You are so good at it. Yes, that is what happens to so many people. So since stepping out of your comfort zone will require you to do something that you are not so familiar with, there are certain times that you are going to mess up, and this will cause you to be humiliated. And when that happens, you might think, okay, I moved out of my comfort zone and I've been humiliated, so I have to go back into my comfort zone where I'm not going to be vulnerable, where I'm not going to be laughed at. And that is why we love to stay in our comfort zone most of the time. The third reason why we want to stay in our comfort zone sometimes is because we fear failure. Let's think about it critically. Now, being in your comfort zone means you have some expertise, you have something about you that actually makes you comfortable. Because perhaps, let's say you are a doctor and you've done a particular type of surgery for a long time. You are comfortable with it and you know that this is my field of expertise. So with that one, you don't fear failure so much, because though sometimes you are going to fail, but at least you know that you have a level of control, or you have some amount of success. Now, in case you want to start a new thing and you don't know the outcome, you don't even know how it works, and you just have to put yourself out there and do it, you fear failure because now you don't know what will happen, and there's a possibility of you failing terribly. So you see, that is one reason why we fear, we want to stay in our comfort zone, the fear of failure. The next reason why we want to stay in our comfort zone is what people will say. What people will say. Now, let me talk about this very critically for you to understand. Now, let me explain this critically to you. You see, we live in a world where there's different sorts of validation. So sometimes you are going to be validated. We live in a world where everything is driven by validation. Sometimes you are going to be applauded. Other times you are going to be turned off or ridiculed. Yes, that is something that is natural with humans. Because of that, we are so much on the edge. Yes, especially when you are doing something and especially when you are doing something and you are not an expert in whatever you are doing, you tend to be on the edge a little bit. Yes, and it's very easy for people to turn you off, or for people to move you away from your goal, especially when you are receiving negative inputs. Yes, because some of these inputs, they can actually discourage you, or they can cause you to have anxiety. Yes, that is the situation. Sometimes you can watch the comment section, or you can look at some of the inputs that people are giving towards your work or your business or whatever. And at the end of the day, you will be turned off, you'll be discouraged. It's because the fear of, because we fear what people will say, or the inputs that people will give when we attempt something. Yes, so that is the reason why sometimes we want to stay in our comfort zone. You don't want to go out there to even be laughed at. You don't want to go out there to listen to what people are going to say. Yes, because when it turns out that it is positive, it is negative, sorry, it is going to do something to you. You feel that, okay, I'm not good at it, so I'm going to stop. Okay, I'm not feeling happy about this comment and all that. And mind you, so many of us are like that. We are so much into validation and what people will say. So when it turns out that we receive negative feedback, it goes down to our core. Yes, and it kind of like attacks our personality. But ladies and gentlemen, sometimes it's very important for you to detach from the results. If you really want to be successful, you have to detach from the results, and you have to detach from the comments of people. When you receive a negative comment, it's a reason for you to improve. When you receive a positive comment, the same thing, you do vice versa. You keep moving. That is it. So you see, comfort zone is not a place where you should be, especially if you want to be successful in life, or you want to do something that will stand out in history. Because anyone at all who has accomplished something great in history actually didn't live in the comfort zone. A lot of the things we have around us, be it inventions, even how airplanes take off, how our lights work, how all these amazing technological gadgets work and all that. It has been about people stepping out of their comfort zone, people thinking differently, daring to be curious and all that. So that is how humanity has grown. Humanity has never grown through being in a comfort zone. Because if the comfort zone is going to do anything at all, it's going to keep you stuck. Think about it critically. The comfort zone will just keep you stuck. So you find yourself doing the same thing, not growing, and feeling that you are comfortable. So at the end of the day, nothing peculiar happens, nothing so special happens because you are in the comfort zone. So ladies and gentlemen, I am challenging you today to step out of your comfort zone. Do the thing that you are afraid of. A lot of people have found out that they are so good at certain things just because they dared to be curious, they dared to actually put themselves out there. So yes, and you see, the other reason why we stay in our comfort zone is because we compare ourselves. Let me talk about this quickly. We compare ourselves to people. So let's say you have an idea, a business idea, a particular unique mindset. You have something you want to bring out, and you look around and someone has attempted it, and someone is actually doing well in that arena. You will tend to look down on yourself. You'll be like, oh, since this person is doing well already, the person has taken the spot. Because of that, I want to do whatever I want to do. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a challenge because now you are always matching your excellence or your ability or whatever you can do or on the doors. Now you are now you are comparing yourself to whoever is doing well than you. So you tend to back off little until whatever you are doing fades into oblivion. Yes, that is one thing that we have to talk about. So let's look at it. There are different takes on excellence. There are certain people who are going to touch a particular number of people, and sometimes too, the way you talk, the way you do things differently is going to appeal to a set of people that maybe the one you are idolizing has not actually appealed to. There are different takes of excellence. That is why even all the things that we have around us, there are different takes. Yes, so when you want to do something or you want to put yourself, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification button to get updates on future uploads. Thank you once again for watching.